Hey everyone, here we go. First, you have to make garlic infused olive oil, just some garlic cloves and some olive oil. So I have that at the bottom of the pan with some green onions, and then I added celery and chopped carrot, and those are 2 red bell peppers. So I saute this really well together. Just kind of let it do its thing. That garlic infused olive oil is the stuff. So very easy to make. You can buy some, but it's so much easier to make it on your own. So right here I'm adding salt. I'm just adding, really it's like a pinch of salt. That helps the water release from the vegetables. And this is ground black pepper. So that's going in. So I'm going to be putting all my spices in at this point so they can all kind of do its thing. That olive oil can get in there and marinate with the vegetables and all the spices. So chili powder, that's the first. And look at how much I put in. This is a big saucepan. That's honestly, that's probably like almost a 1/4 cup of chili powder, because that whole pot is gonna get full. So then some paprika. Since this is vegan chili, you really got to go a little heavier with spices than you would if you're doing normally like a meat chili. So that's probably, and this curry powder, I do less than a teaspoon of curry powder because it's very, very strong. So that's all I put in. But the paprika, that's at least a teaspoon. That's probably about a 1/2 teaspoon. I think turmeric is next. Yep, I'm doing less than a teaspoon of this. Maybe a teaspoon if you like turmeric powder. So good for you. Great anti-inflammatory. I know it seems like we're putting a lot of spices in. Ground cumin, about a teaspoon of this. These are all FODMAP-friendly spices. Even though it seems heavy, those aren't usually what bothers people's stomachs. So you can go a little heavy. You should go heavy with the spices. So I'm going to saute these all together. Let them be friends. That little bit of salt just in the beginning. A splash of water to loosen it all at the bottom. And, this video, I'm going to be showing you what the consistency looks like as you go through this cooking process. It is long, but it's totally worth it. That gives you a big pot of chili. So after a few minutes, here we are. I think at this point I add a big can, like a double-sized can, of no salt added, either crushed or diced tomatoes. Oh, before that goes in, there's the bay leaf. Don't forget your bay leaf. So see how everything's getting all nice and sauteed at the bottom? All right, here comes the tomatoes. No salt added, crushed. I used crushed, you can use diced. A whole big fat can of those. If you have a small can, then 2 small cans or 1 big fat can. I'm opening the jar. Just waiting. Here it comes. There it goes. So this is very thick and very dense already at the bottom. So I'm going to stir these all together. Look at that. I mean, that looks pretty thick already. And here comes the water. Now I'm going to add, I'm going to fill that pan up almost to the top with water. So here it comes. So that's all incorporated. No real time has passed. These are just different camera shots. Filling that water up, because this is going to go on the stove for a while, for a few hours. Long and low. Long and low. So there we go. See how that's filled almost to the top, about 3/4 to the top? Here I'm adding 1 full bag of dried lentils. I have green lentils. You can use red lentils, or are there other colors? Let me know. Do you have a preference? Let me know. Stirring it around. So now it almost looks like a tomato soup, right? Or a vegetable soup. Just you wait. It's going to thicken up nice, but it takes a little time. So 1 hour later, watch what happens. It's already thickening up a little bit here. So that's the first hour. So maybe it takes about 20 minutes to saute all those vegetables, get the spices in, get the, the tomatoes in. So this is a full hour after we've added our ingredients, and let it do its thing on the stove, long and low. I'm stirring it and I'm showing you just sort of what the consistency should look like. I think that bay leaf makes another appearance. There it is. It's looking good, right? So I'm gonna give it 30 minutes more, and then we're gonna get a submersion blender, and we're gonna pulse this just quick little pulses, because I don't want to make this into a big smoothie. So this is an hour and a half it's been on the stove. Again, long and very low. This is a very low flame. I love this thing. I put it in and I pulse it once or twice, just a little bit, slow and slow, because you want a chewy consistency. You want it to be kind of like lumpy, the consistency of chili, but you don't want it to be completely smooth, but you don't want it to be completely lentils and vegetables, some sort of a hybrid between the two. So I'm pulsing it around, I'm mixing it up. So you're gonna see some whole lentils in there, and you're gonna see some that are pulverized. So I think I give it another good stir, and I take that spatula, that wooden spatula, and I scrape along the corners of the pot to get all of it out. So there's still a little bit more lentils in here than I'd like. So I give it a good stir, and then I think I add that blender one more time, just a couple more pulses. So I'm showing you the consistency. Yep, right around the edges, Lori. Get it all in there. Yes. See all the lentils swimming in there? Let's get that blender back. We'll pulse it just a few more times. Just a little bit more. Yes. Wash that sucker out. All right. Give it a stir. Now we still have 4 more ingredients that we're going to add to this. All right, so there was the pulsing clip of the video. Here we go. 4 more ingredients, still long and low. We are going to add, I'm going to take a gander here. That's probably about half to a full cup of quinoa, dried quinoa, not cooked already. It's going to cook in the pot, going to absorb all of that water. And I like to add maybe about a cup of frozen corn. Not canned corn unless it's no salt added canned corn, because canned corn's usually very salty. Mixing that around. I like I like frozen vegetables because there's no salt added. So that kind of give it a little sweet bite in there to go with all the spices. So now we're mixing that all up. It's going to do its thing. Now we're going to add the flavors that bring you that deep, low flavor, besides the water, giving it something to swim with, and a deep, high flavor. When I say low, sometimes you miss that robust the umi flavor. So I actually add a little liquid smoke. You're going to see that coming up in just a second. Get that liquid smoke, Laura. There it is, liquid smoke. Less than a teaspoon of that. That gives it that deep, smoky bottom end that kind of gives it that robust flavor. And then instead of adding more salt, I add a little bit of lime juice. That gives it this bright, high-end flavor. So you have a really big range of flavors. You have all those spices in the middle, those warming spices. You have that deep, earthy cumin and the deep, earthy liquid smoke, and that little lime juice at the top just sort of brightens it all. It brings it all together. So here comes the cover, and that's going to sit for an hour and a half more. Look at it. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Look, it's all sticking to the bottom a little bit. That's okay. That's good. Incorporate all going. And just because I really want everything fully integrated, I'm going to mix it around as much as I can. I want you to see how the consistency's really thickened up. This is something that takes time and it's worth all the time. So if you're home on a morning, I recommend doing this in the morning. So you can have like your morning coffee or whatever. Let this go, make the house smell nice, and by lunchtime you're ready. I let that go for another hour and a half. But you could do it to taste. You don't have to do it quite as long. But look at how thick that is. That is thick. That is ready to go. It is so robust. It is so hearty. It's so full of protein. A bowl of this, you will be full for hours. Yes. So there's what I like to put on mine. Hope you enjoy. Have a great day, everyone.